Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. My first guest, I'm a huge fan of, man. Really a great actor. You know him from Law & Order, SVU, and Man of Steel most recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Years ago, my buddies asked me to audition for a movie called The Summer, Wet Hot American Summer. They play this like crazy chef. And I'm like, all right. And I go there, and I find out that Christopher Meloni is also auditioning for it. I'm like, you're getting real actors for this? I don't have a shot. And then he gets it, and it's like perfect what he's doing. I'm like, I could never have done that.
I'm sorry.
Christopher Meloni. Yeah, you know, I wanted to say, you're great in that movie, man. You got such good laughs in that.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a fun character for you, I'm sure.
Absolutely. It was a breath of fresh air for me because it was kind of in the beginning, middle part of my SVU run.
Now, let me ask you about that. I mean, first of all, you're just fantastic in it, but that's a dark show to do for, how long did you do, 14 years?
12 years, a dozen years, yeah.
And you do an hour-long, one camera shoot, like probably long days. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
What did you ever kind of like think maybe I need to see a shrink? Because I mean it's real dark stuff.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I've told this story just a couple times before, but it was about 3 or 4 months into the initial run, the first season.
Yeah.
And it was every day. It was like the guy, time to wake up and make the donuts. I mean, we were working 18-hour days, a 22-day.
You gotta move quick, man. Yeah.
And you're just constantly working. And got up out of bed. And I started shaking uncontrollably. And I remember having an out-of-body experience going, I think I'm having an emotional breakdown.
Wow. I mean, you're dealing with dark stuff, man.
Yeah. And then on top of it, I had, in the middle of that run, I started having a family.
Right.
So that made it even
Lots
more
going on in life.
Personal and all that crap. You're like, yeah. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because, you would, a lot of it, what I appreciate about Dick Wolf is that he rips from the headlines.
He does.
And you guys would write from the New York. You see something in the New York Post, and you guys be doing it.
Right?
2 weeks later, yeah.
I mean, don't you do that? You read the thing and go, I'll be seeing that in a couple months.
Yeah. Not enough people. There's so many. I know a lot of cynical comics who hate to admit that they watch any network television, but almost everybody I know, I respect. Secretly they go, Law & Order SVU marathon is like the best.
Yeah.
It's great. What is it like? We'll talk about a different group of people. Like you got Ice-T, you got Mariska Hargitay. What is it like working with Ice-T? Here's a guy who wrote a song called Cop Killer, and he makes a living playing a cop.
And ironically, I mean, there are more cops. When we'd be shooting on the streets, all the cops would be all up into him.
I'm
like,
sure.
Oh, eyes, you're not supposed to do this, but can I get that stuff. You're like, really?
Right. It doesn't make any sense.
No, he's, Ice is, number one, he's an exceptionally smart guy.
Yeah.
He's a street poet. He's so wise to how the world operates.
He seems to live by a code, that kind of guy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And he gets it because, I think that, in the certain circumstances that he was in a prior life, if you didn't have a code, you're going to have a sleep full of trouble. So, he's a very upright guy. And I actually bumped into his wife, lovely wife, Coco, today, doing my rounds, my publicity rounds. She's got a burlesque show coming on.
I'd love to see that, man.
Who wouldn't? Yeah. So, I always really enjoy seeing not only Ice and all them, but all the guys that I used to work with.
It's funny, when I was living in L.A. about 12 years ago, maybe longer, probably like 15 years ago now, I was doing a sitcom. It was like in the late 90s. I went to go see a movie called The Way of the Gun, which is a real hard rated R movie, violence all over the place. And there was 3 other people in the movie theater. I went by myself. It was Ice-T, Coco, and a 7-year-old boy that they had outside. And it was like, I mean, he's eating the popcorn, like, and we go yelling out, like, now what you gonna do? Now what? Like yelling at the screen, like,
oh, God.
And I'm like, I wanted to say hi to him, but it was actually scary. He seemed mad. But your character is great on that show because you got to go back and forth from the family stuff to the, you got the wife on the show and everything. Yeah. It really is great work. Yeah. Did you ever win an Emmy for that?
No, I got nominated 1 year.
Just 1 year?
Just 1 year.
Doesn't make any sense.
That's all right. They invited me to the party. That's all I needed or wanted. So that was nice, yeah.
It's in everyone's house. It's in my house, you are the most famous person, I think, to my children because that show is always on. Every day, many times a day. How how similar?
Are your children Mensa children? Because it's awfully perceptive.
My 3-year-old daughter.
They are
Yes.
smart
My
kids.
3-year-old
Yes.
daughter, she loves the show so much. She'll come in the morning, she'll sneak into our room, and she'll say to my wife, "You're gonna die today,"
Oh my God!
because she's so fixated with the
sounds an awful
morbidity.
lot like Family Guy as well. The baby.
So that's kind of dark. But how similar are you to that character? Like, you're the family guy, you're the defender of children, but you've also
you
got
don't
this
seem
like
a guy you'd mess with.
over the top edge where you're gonna smack people around. Are you?
Yeah, I think the main thing that I have in common with that Elliot guy is, the idea of injustice
Right.
makes me crazy when and I'm an actor, so I don't have the power to, and I think very few people have the power to right wrongs that we all see, we all know in our gut
It's frustrating.
is wrong. It's so, but we have a judicial system and it's set up and it grinds slowly along, and even that is frustrating. So I just think people got a kind of visceral satisfaction through my character, because
Definitely,
here's a guy who's like, I want to kick your effing ass, fucking ass.
You can't curse.
Oh yeah.
You can't?
Yeah,
You
I
can't?
wish. Believe me, it seems like you should be able to.
I want to kick your gosh
Effing ass.
darn.
Yeah.
But you have a military background now.
No, my character does.
I thought
Right.
you did.
Oh no, man! No, any organization that would have me, I don't want to be a part of.
But
no.
you played a Vietnam vet in Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Did
that's
you
the
ever
closest
see
I
that?
came
He's
to
hilarious.
combat.
in it. Like, you steal a lot of that movie, actually.
Well, thank you. I tell you, that movie made that was the first big hitter for Bradley Cooper,
That's right.
Elizabeth Banks,
That's
Paul
right, a lot of people-
Rudd.
Do you like doing comedy?
I love doing comedy.
Yeah.
It's it's you get to open up the gaskets a little more. There's a little more free flow and improv sensibility. Even if it's a well-structured comedy and it's a well-written piece, you still just these gut instincts just come popping up, and you listen to them and you go with it. It's fun.
How hands-on was Dick Wolf with that show?
No. No, he birthed it and ignored it. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure behind the scenes, he was doing his, political machinations just to, get it placed right on the schedule. I mean, this is a guy who's got his hands, working an empire.
Everybody talk whenever these lists come out about the richest people in Hollywood, and he's not on them. He's probably one of the guys who pays a publicist to keep him off those lists, because how could he not be the richest guy on the planet? He's got he had 8 shows on at once, I think. He's got 3 in syndication.
Yeah,
they're never not on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've never read that, but if he's not on it, I have no idea why not.
That doesn't make any sense. What are you plugging now? What do you got going on now?
Yeah, I'm doing a comedy, half hour, one camera on Fox, Thursday nights, 9:30. It's called Surviving Jack.
Right.
It's based on the book by Justin Halpern of I Suck at Girls, who also wrote Shh, My Dad Says.
Yeah.
And, it takes place in the early 90s, and it's, it was a lot of fun, really well written. Nice ensemble group. I got Rachel Harris. I don't know if you're familiar with her,
she's
but
great.
you would know,
Sure.
if you don't know the name, you'd absolutely
I
recognize
know
her.
she is, yeah.
Yeah. And she's fantastic. She plays my wife, and we have a beautiful relationship, and I'm trying to guide my son through the Sturm and Drang of adolescence, and I have an older daughter, teenage daughter, who's
You're like the stay-home dad.
yeah, except I'm a doctor, so it's not like, oh honey, I'm going to give up everything so you can go to law school. It's I'll cut back my hours at the hospital. You raise the kids up until this point. I got it. Don't worry about it. But it's he doesn't know quite as much as he believes he knows. But it's just his view on life, which I found really funny and refreshing. I liken him to Archie Bunker without the racism or bigotry,
Right.
and he's just more educated.
Yeah.
But and that's to say that Archie Bunker, right or wrong, whatever you feel, he absolutely committed to what he believed in.
Oh, absolutely.
It was this was his view of the world.
Yeah.
It was very clear. There was a clarity to it. That's kind of what my character Jack Dunleavy has.
Well, see, that's why, based on the fact that you're in it alone, I want to watch that show. When's it on?
Great.
9:30 Thursday nights, and it premieres on March 27th, this Thursday, right after American Idol.
Okay, we're going to take a break. I'm Fox. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with more Christopher Meloni.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.